At approximately 6:30 p.m., LVMPD dispatch received a 911 call in reference to a road rage incident that resulted in somebody being shot. Officers from Spring Valley Area Command, along with Nevada Highway Patrol, quickly responded. And upon their arrival, they located one individual lying in the middle of the street suffering from an apparent gunshot wound. The suspect, or the shooter, was also present. He remained on scene. Those officers immediately rendered aid until medical arrived, but unfortunately when medical arrived, that individual was pronounced deceased on scene. Homicide detectives were called, and we are currently on scene investigating this crime. The preliminary details that we know so far are: there was a minor traffic accident where somebody had gotten rear-ended. The driver who rear-ended the car had gotten out of his car to go render aid, make sure everybody was okay. When he approached that car, the driver of the other car jumped out with a knife in his hand and began chasing the other driver. He chased the other driver around his vehicle several times. The other driver was able to make his way back into his vehicle where he retrieved his firearm, during which time the individual with the knife began stabbing the car and the tires. The driver with the firearm came out of his car, told the individual to get away, at which time he lunged forward, causing the driver to fire his firearm, and that individual was struck. The driver immediately began rendering aid to that individual. There was two passerbyers that were nurses, they were good citizens, that began rendering aid until medical arrived. And like I said earlier, that individual was unfortunately pronounced deceased on scene. This is an isolated incident. There's no threat to the public at this time, but we do encourage anybody who might have been driving by the area to please reach out to LVMPD Homicide. And if you wish to remain anonymous, you can call Crime Stopper Nevada. And that'll take any questions.
Has the gunman been released from scene?
He is currently talking to detectives right now, yes. So,
and is he expected to be released from scene?
He's expected to be released from scene, correct.
And so just to clear this up, the guy that rear-ended the initial car was the guy with the knife?
So the individual who rear-ended the car, okay, he was the individual who ultimately produced the firearm.
Okay.
So, but he got out of his car without the firearm, walked up to render aid on the individual that he had, struck. So that's still under investigation.
We saw animal control on scene. Were there any animals involved?
There's an animal inside the car.
Whose car?
Of the decedent's car.
Were there any other vehicles that were damaged by gunshots? Do we know how many shots were fired?
There was more than one shot fired. As far as how many, it's still under investigation, and no other damaged cars that we know of.
How long is 215 expected to be closed?
It should be opening up here pretty soon. I'd say within the next 45 minutes.
Were any other cars hit by the gunfire? You said there were multiple shots fired. Is it just the individual that was struck?
There's no other cars struck that we know of. Yeah.
Do we know how many witnesses pulled over?
There were several witnesses to the crime, to the thing. Anything else?
Did the individual surrender to police, or was that?
When officers arrived, that individual notified the officer that he was the one who shot. So, okay, all right, thank you.